Everybody give a nice hand for Buford Bunny. These poems are awesome. You're about to hear one of them.
This is called Respect for Parents. Respect for Parents was a sign I held for, and it stood for paraprofessionals, teachers, who are fighting, marching to get better pay. Out on the sidewalk, I ran into fellow workers from the school district, people who give to students, some of whom are about to become evicted because San Francisco caters to the elitist, non-union clientele. The renter with big bucks, of those of his carrying, of us carrying our hearts and developed intellects for area mid-range pay in the second most expensive city in the United States, or having to leave or get extra jobs. My, quote, extra job is Social Security, whose full amount is cut at the rate of 50 cents of the dollar because I make, quote, too much as a worker. One union person detailed in the San Francisco Examiner says that the closest she can afford to live to support her daughter is Vallejo. In the Board of Education meeting, $133,000 salary Superintendent Richard Carranza conducts business as usual, except for United Educators of San Francisco t-shirts covering the people who work our little tails off for almost literally with tough to handle kids with autism and other, quote, fun problems. A para in his 50s has cerebral palsy and is helped to his feet at the end of a meeting by various fellow paraprofessionals. He has worked for over 15 years in the school district and needs a second job to make ends meet. As the woman who runs the City Cafe at City College of San Francisco, where I eat in the morning, said, I didn't sleep too well last night when I couldn't remember soy hot chocolate instead of the usual gut-killing coffee I'm trying to first cut down on and eventually eliminate. I hope I'm not sounding too arrogant when I say my students need me. It's certainly the other way around.
All right, Seth Cantor? Seth, are you here? Maybe not. All right, how about Edward James? Edward, hey Edward. Edward just found out about this last night. Hey, Edward.
Greetings, neighbors. Wasn't the new golden age supposed to begin when the Mayan calendar ended on December 21st, 2012? Yes, it has. Right? But it's up to each of us to invite the experience into our lives. The universe is giving, but are we capable of receiving? We are as empowered as our point of view is open. Blinders come by way of habits, expectations, and past traumas. But deep breaths help us pause to consider the big picture, affording us opportunity to expand consciousness, giving us the edge to meet life's challenges gracefully. Round and round, the universe sends us again and again, but whether we spiral down into a rut or up a stairway to heaven is a matter of mindfulness or lack of. How can we call ourselves conscious beings unless we consider the weight of our spoken word? We create drama by consciously justifying unconscious reactions. Dismissal and disapproval of the decidedly unavoidable is an act of ignorance. Our oneness guarantees that everyone and everything, however inconvenient, has its purpose and place. Realizing our oneness requires an ounce of self-discipline and a helping of childlike perception. Anger, fear, and frustration become our experience when we believe that someone or something is blocking us from receiving grace. But only our ignorance can do that. We are never apart from the source. Ideals and expectations are spiritual faux pas because they blind us to what the universe is actually offering. Our eyes may be windows to the soul, but they also act as blinders to life's graceful potential. I assert it does not take a special person to live in the flow of life's graceful potential, but rather it takes special desire. Anyone who chooses to consider their position within the Van Gogh of creation begins to understand the ease that comes from living in awareness of our inherent oneness. We are one being, enjoying a play of infinite possibilities. We are different expressions of a common creative source. We are one, but we are not the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. It's just always such a treat. It's never the same year to year. Next up to the mic, Amos Gregory. Put it together for Amos.
Good evening. I'm the founder of a project here in San Francisco. It's called the San Francisco Veterans Mural Project. It exists in the Tenderloin District of San Francisco here. And it's an entire alley. And it's all U.S. military veterans, and we're telling our own stories. And it's the first time where we've had a public forum where we tell our own stories. And over the last 3 years, I've painted with over 100 plus veterans or supporters and family members. And these poems that I'm reading right now represent the stories that have been told in Veterans Alley, told by us, about us. The first poem is actually by a Vietnamese philosopher, Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's handwritten as the first message in Veterans Alley, and it's a mural there. And it says, "Veterans are the light at the tip of the candle, illuminating the way for the whole nation. If veterans can achieve awareness, transformation, understanding, and peace, they can share with the rest of society the realities of war, and they can teach us how to make peace with ourselves and each other so that we may never have to use violence to resolve conflicts ever again." Awareness, and this is the official poem of the alley. The dark stories are now coming into the alley. The fog of war, the gore of an unlawful killing. It is chilling. Their faces haunt them at night. Cold sweats, sleepless fright. I try with all my might to tell the left hand to communicate with the right. Do you blame the hand that it's burned itself in the fire? For it was the mind that commanded it to go near the fire. Every person and nation at war bears responsibility for the unlawful killing of a child in a war zone. Beacon, I shine my candlelight deep into the dark caves of their tortured mind's plight, healing the children called upon to do these things by a nation. Tear, I reach for a chair, but fall against a wall in an alley as they tell me the stories of things done in a faraway valley. Rally these souls, behold, grace, smile on your face. Say, I am sorry, my son, my daughter, for asking you to do these things. Awareness.